Hi, so today we're going to talk about how to get to know yourself and how to make sense of what you find. I've discovered so much over the last few years. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself very quickly. I used to love to paint and draw as a child. I'm sure you did too. But I left it behind in my 20s when I started a career, got married, and moved halfway across the world. And it wasn't until I was 50 years old and we moved back to Yorkshire, so 7 years ago, that I reconnected with my creativity. Almost as soon as we arrived, I found myself wanting to paint again, and that was my first inkling that the most important thing we can have to make our unique art is a strong connection with our real selves. And I think I had lost that in trying to make a positive, good life in a culture very different from my own, or two cultures very different from my own. I had lost track a little bit of myself. And coming back here, instant reconnection. And the art started to want to come out again. Moving to a new place or moving back to a place you've been away from for a long time makes you very observant in a way that people who live in that place are not. And I started to really notice, what did I love about this place that I was born and brought up in and then left and was now back in? What did I really love? So I loved the moors. I loved the sense of wild space up there. I learned that I love the big skies here and the way they change constantly. I love being out with my dog in kind of wild weather and getting back to a warm house and getting dry and warm and pouring a cup of tea. I love cool days more than warm ones. I like sweaters more than dresses. I like boots more than high heels. I like cozy home decor rather than modern minimalism. I love dry stone walls and the endless patterns in them. And I like wildflowers. And I love heavy, deep grey skies and bright green sunlit fields. And knowing what you love in your life, as I said yesterday, is really important. Also, you need to know what you love while you're working. So that took me longer to identify, and that's where I hope I can help you. At first, I was scared. So I only drew in black ink, water-soluble ink. So I did these fairly naive style drawings of the area around my home, and I was afraid of colour, so I avoided it. When I finally decided to use colour, I went for watercolour because I was afraid of oils and acrylics. Even though I've since discovered watercolour is very difficult, I didn't know that. I thought it would be easier. Fool me. And slowly, far too slowly, I realised that I had to identify what I physically loved doing and what I loved to look at. And since then, there have been quite a few breakthrough paintings. I call that the point where something happens that takes your work to the next level. But this was an important one early on for me. The part I loved most were two parts actually, the drips in the sky and the part in the lower right-hand corner where the wall becomes more abstract and stops looking so much like a dry stone wall. And both those things happened by accident, but I really liked them both, and I was less interested in the rest of the painting. And that led me to make this painting, where I worked harder to make it more abstracted. So it's still based on a stone wall and a sky in a field, but it's less obvious. And this process of following the clues has continued ever since and led me to where my work is at the moment. But what really helped me about the time I made that wall painting was I found an online community. This is one that doesn't actually exist anymore, but it was a community of artists who were all supporting and helping each other. And that really helped me to blossom because it helped me for the first time being surrounded, even if only online, by other people who felt like me and thought like me and were interested in things I was interested in, but were more advanced than me, helped me to quickly learn how to get where I wanted to go. And so sometimes as beginners, we're intimidated by more experienced artists, but I'm like, bring it on. Give me everything you've got. You know things I want to know. And so what I most learned from those people was that playing and experimenting and taking risks was what I needed to do in order to identify what I really enjoyed, what really made me feel alive and excited when I was working, because that is the key to paintings that feel alive and exciting. That is the key to unique, original art that other people want to own. And ever since then, that's been what I've taught other people. Connect with what you really care about. Connect with what makes you feel excited and alive, and the paintings will feel excited and alive, and other people will want to own them, and they won't look like anybody else's. It's magic, really. So I want you to think about just some things you love, specifically artists you love and why. They can be current artists or past artists, but what are they doing and why do you love it? And try and be as specific as you can. Think about parts of your own paintings that you like, or paintings, whole paintings you've done that you like. Why did you like that one? What was in that one that isn't in the ones you don't like? And if you don't like anything that you've done, then ask yourself, what's wrong with this painting? So that's what I do. So I say, this painting is too messy. Okay, what would be the opposite of messy? I need to put something organized and tidy in there. Or this painting is too tight and tense, right? So I need to do something loose and free. By criticizing your paintings, you'll start to see that the opposite of the criticism you're giving yourself is what you really want. You don't have to be able to do it yet. You just have to recognize that that's what you want. And then as you're painting, look for clues. What feels good? What physically feels good? Like, for example, I've discovered I don't like painting on canvas on stretcher bars. I'm currently pulling some canvas off some stretcher bars so I can stick it to the wall and work on it, where I can sand and scrape and do whatever I want. I like wood panels for the same reason. I wouldn't know that unless I'd struggled with a surface I didn't like and then discovered how to find a surface I did like. I've discovered I like painting with fluid paint and letting it drip. I love texture. I like a pop of warm colour against cool colours. For now, I enjoy abstract painting, although that may well change and I may go back to representational. I'm totally open. I just do whatever feels good at the time. So look for clues. What feels good? What do you enjoy? But also, what don't you enjoy? What are you maybe doing because you think it's the right way to do things, or because you think it will impress someone else, or even impress yourself? What are you doing just because you think that's what you have to do? And then stop doing all that, because there's nothing you have to do except be yourself. That's it for today, but tomorrow I want to talk to you about the things that stop us from finding our own unique voice. And I'm sure some of this will resonate with you. But I want to show you how you can turn those things that are blocking you into things that actually fuel you. And once you recognize that there's no problem with it, there's no problem feeling fear, there's no problem having failures. In fact, both those things are really good things. And once you understand that, you're free to just get going and rocket yourself off to finding your own unique voice. So I can't wait to share tomorrow's information with you. But for now, just give some thought to what you really like, what you really enjoy, what you really don't enjoy, and perhaps why you might be doing some of the things you don't enjoy. As always, you can unsubscribe if you don't want to receive any more videos from me. There's a button at the bottom in a black bar. You will also, on Sundays, start receiving my artist newsletter. You don't have to receive that if you don't want to. You can unsubscribe from that. But that in there, I share lots more interesting information and just what's going on in my studio and things I think might help you. And if I make a mistake, I share with you so you don't have to make the same one. Okay, that's it for me today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.